Hi there, my name is Tracy Forth and I'm currently a student at University of Southern Queensland, enrolled in the course Emerging Environments for Learning. This is a picture of me with my little niece, and you will see more of her throughout this presentation. I am a family-orientated person, and so the digital era has been a challenge for me due to my strong core values of kinship and social interaction in child development. Back in December 2014, I felt like my pooch Snowy here on the right, challenged but facing an unknown road ahead, and I couldn't even reach the pedals of the vehicle I was put in charge of. I have made a massive leap forward in my knowledge and growth of learning digital technology and its availability now to educators in their professional fields thanks to this course. The introduction of the theories of digital immigrant and digital native was relevant to me during my personal experiences of technology. I've also made some self-discoveries about my value systems and attitudes to technology, which have been rightly polished during this course, bringing me to examine the learning styles of digital natives and digital immigrants in the 21st century. More recent research has pushed my intrigue further into the concept of digital fluency as the technology world keeps moving forward. This presentation aims to demonstrate the evidence of digital immigrants and digital natives, introduce that despite the currency of digital fluency, a circle of learning will be valuable in conserving knowledge and historical evidence important to our cultural heritage and social development. I plan to demonstrate how the circle of learning could occur. Mark Prensky coined the terms digital natives and digital immigrants in 2001 to describe the technological skill and competence between the generations born before and after the rapid growth and use of digital technology of the past 2 decades. So 14 years later, have these terms evolved? This was my sister-in-law's ideal car registration number in 2001. Ooh, ah. And this is my 20-year-old niece's car, just a few days ago on the right. Does this image indicate change in our times? The learning circle is a valid component to our learning growth as we move forward in this era of digital fluency, which is clearly outlined in the literature as a more currently relevant continuum of technological use and competence. The debate exists as to the true nature of the digital immigrants and the digital natives' existence and relativity per se. Many researchers argue that it is now standard human nature to learn through technological mediums. I'd like to introduce some real characters of these entities to this debate. Apologies for the quality of this slide of my daughter on the right and my niece, baby Bella. I introduce them both as stars of my presentation and am probably a little biased as they are my favourite girls. The realism is, learning has long been a basic and valid requirement of human nature's survival. Historically, it has been from older to younger humans through our senses and social engagement, etc. This doesn't change with the introduction of technology. The fluency of using technology does, however, create a few challenges across the generation of users. The challenge of the 21st century is that we need to reverse the direction of teaching and learning just a little bit in order to preserve the knowledge and skills of our older community members. I will discuss this in more depth later. For now, my point is that bridging the gap between digital natives and digital immigrants' skill and knowledge can only happen if sharing of skills occurs. This has never occurred before in human nature, the sharing of skills from the younger generation to the older generation. Now, our little Bella loves to share. Here she shares her candy cane with Pop, who loves to share too. Pop's nickname is Mr. Google. He doesn't need to use the internet. Whatever you need to know, Pop knows it, or knows someone who knows it, or knows a man who knows a man who will know it. Now I am sure this Pop character lives in many of our social circles. This isn't so much of a joke, as I regularly find my husband and family members asking Pop for his advice. It's his lifetime of experience that is the valued knowledge which is currently not at the fingertips of the digital native. Pop and Bella, however, share differently and use different materials, skills, or approaches to sharing experience or knowledge. Bella screams to tell you something informative, like she is hungry or the dog is annoying her. Pop is a master of all things, and as such, even when making dinner for the family to give him a night off, Pop will have to check each stage of my cooking for Pop's quality standards. Bella, however, uses little language and tends to get straight to the point by teaching Pop how to suck her candy cane in a more aggressive format. As funny as this all seems, it's really not a far analogy from digital native and digital immigrant learning experiences. So let's have a look across our continuum of digital users. What is their level of digital fluency? Although 13 and born into the age of the internet, Collie's exposure to technology was minimal until she reached primary school, and in year 3 the interactive whiteboard came to her classroom. From then, her family engaged in using gaming and internet when she was around 9, and so at 13 years old now, she is expected at school to perform the majority of her learning via multiple technological and media equipment. She uses social media daily, and recently at home she is the most fluent technology user. Ava has been using gaming activities for about 4 years and uses computers and smart screens at school on a daily basis for recreation and educational purposes. At 9 years old, she leads the peer support of technology use at home. Ashton is 5 and has cerebral palsy. He uses his smart technology daily to assist his communication and motor skills both at home and in school. His disability reduces his gaming enjoyment, but his access to technology increases his confidence in functional daily living activities and social interaction. Bella is entering into her first exploration stages of physically accessible technologies such as the smart screen. She does not show specific interest in gaming, but an exploration appropriate to her developmental age of cause and effect, and responds to the social effects of her engagement with the oohs and ahs of her family members.
Good girl.
Now this is a very special, enlightening moment for me in this slide. Having worked, studied and lived child development now for over 20 years, I was taken aback watching this video. Here Bella, who at 10 months is not walking, not standing, not even talking very much, shows us quite firmly she knows the orientation of the iPod.
Mom, don't punch your own mom.
She knows how to initiate its activation with gentle touching of index and forefingers. Developmentally, textbooks would state Bella is at exploratory stage of play through banging, throwing and chewing. And don't get me wrong, her fiery temper can certainly be displayed on the iPod. However, here she clearly demonstrates she has learned through observation of her peers and siblings, and maybe a little trial and error, just how to manipulate the iPod. Pop, as you can see, lifts his eyebrows and holds the iPad just like a book. He asked me what I was doing to him when I took this photo. I think that says it all. Pop has passed all the stages of early learning of our previous characters, and therefore will need to learn a different way if he is motivated enough to do so. Pop does have experience and knowledge that needs to be retained. The digital natives are using technology daily to learn and develop, but they aren't accessing the valuable knowledge from digital immigrants like Pop. And he isn't fluent in using technology, so a divide occurs and a skill gap is evident. How does the digital native and digital immigrant grow and learn together when the tools they are using are so decades apart? Furthermore, How do we ensure that the valuable knowledge and skill of our digital immigrants is not lost? The Circle of Learning is an interactive game that encourages the digital immigrant and digital native to work together to achieve a goal. Both parties' motivators are met through the game, and the game is designed strategically to target these motivators. Example, the digital native wants to play and win and use modern technology. The digital immigrant wants to teach the digital native, and as such is motivated by social interaction and relationships. This is a game. Like many games, it requires more than one player. And the key to this game is that no player can move along any further in the game without the other player supporting them with information. It is an idea of extending the traditional board games such as Monopoly and Trivial Pursuits, however using technology. The theory and challenges in the game take two different skill requirements, one being that of using technology and the other of providing knowledge and information. So let's have a look at how this interactive game may be played in more detail. The game is played on smart screens that are compatible, and players log on online. This means that players can play from different locations. That's a valuable addition in today's society when we logistically live quite far away from each other. One player can log on all players and connect like a telephone call would connect. This reduces the avoidance from people who are not digitally skilled. The terms A1 for the digital immigrant and A2, the digital native, will be used further in this presentation for more fluency. The gamers pick an avatar, and the range provided suits across a spectrum of generations in today's society. A2 should encourage A1 to select their own avatar, and the communication between the players, including laughs and jokes about how the avatars look like the players, should promote A1 to engage in the technology usage. So, to start the game, a selection of categories of special interests to A1 is presented. Only A1 can make the selection here. In the meantime, A2 can select the field, background form and level of the game to play and orientate themselves to the awards system, etc. A question appears and some possible answers. A2 cannot see the question, only the possible answers. A1 answers the question with their knowledge. A2 will need to assist A1 in using the various technical derivatives of the application to get to the submit section. Then A2 needs to use the information given by A1 to submit the correct question to match the answer, providing the circle of learning. The answers are given, but the question is not. Some clues to the question may be randomly offered at various levels in the game. The game encourages the sharing of skills between digital immigrants and digital natives through core skills of communication, listening, turn-taking and collaboration. It is a circle of learning. Thank you for your time. And referencing.